Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
SBTV Nation is the dream in the house. What's going on, people? We are here. It is Saturday, another big college basketball day. Awful day last night for me.
Awful day for you, Dream. Good morning to everybody. We are the SBTV Nation. We are live right now on Twitter and all the social media outlets, and we have to have a conversation about all the Dream squads. Kid, what's happening, man?
Awful performance, and thank God for hockey.
Thank God for hockey, huh?
They wanted to ask me why did I want to poison the NCAA work with hockey, and last night is a prime example of why you do spread it around. You keep the portfolio diverse. You keep the portfolio diverse because you never know when one of your blue chippers is going to play you.
Yeah, exactly, Dream. I mean, when you look at what went down yesterday, Dream, the Dukies knock off North Carolina. Kid, talk to me about this.
North Carolina, once again, doesn't want to run the floor, wants to settle for jump shots, doesn't want to take the ball down low. Roy Williams used to timeouts, just don't work the right way. To me, has a little bit to do with the coaching, a little bit to do with the kids. Duke's determination. Duke, though, when Duke starts hitting threes, Duke can stroke the three ball. I'm telling you right now, that Duke team can stroke the three ball. And for those of you that didn't understand exactly why Duke keeps the kid in, it's quite apparent to me why they do.
Right on, Dream. You know what? And the thing is that they always have, that 7-1 shot, that 10-1 shot. Their odds never go really higher than that, the Dukies, based on their history, based on Coach K. And, I mean, obviously the experience factor is there, but I do not believe in them at all still.
I don't believe in them at all either, but I will say this. If they get the right spot, they get the right part of the bracket, and play the right teams, anything can happen. And when I say the kid, I am talking about Allen. He say what you want about him, and I know he's got a little dirtiness in him. He's a little bit of dirty player here and there, but he makes some big-time shots and comes to play when it looks like when Duke needs that, like that, I don't know, they need that injection into them. He's the guy that brings it to them, and it runs to him. And he gives them that little bit of swagger, gives them that toughness. And then Tatum and Kennard, dude, I'm telling you, it's kind of ugly the way they get it done. And I'm starting to believe that this team could go a little bit further than maybe I first thought they could, because I got to tell you, right now they're stroking and they look really comfortable out there.
Yeah, I don't know, Dream. I mean, when you have, obviously everybody is playing each other right now in the conference. It's inter-conference matchups. But, these teams have played each other now. This will be the third time they've played. And, they know the strengths, they know the weaknesses, and you talked about Roy Williams just not having that extra added push that they need to win a national championship.
I thought poor use of timeouts by Roy Williams when Duke had some momentum. I also thought, North Carolina got in and settled for some outside shots. I don't feel that's the way to play Duke. I think you got to take Duke to the hole. You got to push the post game a little bit with it. They definitely, for North Carolina, always push transition just due to their athleticism. I think that a couple of timeouts should have gotten called just to remind the cast and crew that's how we're going to play.
Yep.
That he didn't make. I don't know if he was waiting for the TV timeouts. I don't know what was going on, but there was a point when Duke made a run that I thought that he should have called a timeout and he didn't. And next thing I know, Duke was up like 3. And they went from North Carolina being up by 7 to Duke being up by 3 in that run, and he still hadn't called a timeout yet, which to me was like perplexing. So, Terrence Beck, interested in hearing your thoughts about that. If you want to, post up as far as that's concerned, Shane White did sun you with it. He got you on 15 minutes suicide watch.
Suicide watch as far as the North Carolina Tar Heels. Well, you know what, Dream? I could say this. I told you the conference tournaments don't mean jack to a lot of these teams. You know what? So what they lose? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day because I don't remember the last time a conference champion won the NCAA tournament. I believe it goes back several years. I don't recall a team that won their conference title that won a national championship.
I think UConn did.
I don't think so. I don't know if they won. I don't know if they won the. I don't know if they were American or Big East at that point.
We'd have to take a look at that.
We have to take a look at it, but I mean, going back the last few years, it hasn't happened.
Good point. And it would have been Villanova last year, but remember Villanova did get knocked off in their conference tourney against Seton Hall. So, yeah, you might be right.
I'm 100% right on that. I've always looked at that. So, guys, who was the last trivia question for you? If anybody could hit me up on Twitter, let me know. Who was the last NCAA champion that won their conference tournament?
It was Duke.
Was it Wisconsin? No. Was it Duke?
It was Duke.
Are you sure about that?
Duke won their conference tourney and then won the NCAA tournament too.
Well, a couple of years back?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago? You sure about that?
I'm not sure about it, but I'm almost.
Guys, we apologize. The Dream sounds a little underwater right now. Trying to figure out his sound, but you probably got to just turn your mic up or talking to the mic a little bit better than that. But it's all good. We are live right now and getting ready to rock, guys. Very, very great day of college basketball among us. But we're going to just recap what went on yesterday before we do that. Arizona, number 7 Arizona. You know what? The Dream and I both said that there was a lot of value there to win the Pac-12 championship at plus 370. They knock off UCLA and looked pretty impressive, Dream. I got to be honest with you.
I didn't catch last night's game. I heard about it. I did look at some of the Sports Center clips of it today. Some of the little previews of what went down. Impressive win by Arizona. Like you said, the two teams know each other quite a little bit. And UCLA, it looked like they weren't able to execute last night. I noticed they got no performance out of ball, which is odd. 35 minutes and 8 points, that's not going to cut it.
No, not going to cut it at all. And speaking of the Pac, Oregon skates through and beats California. Beats them by 8.
That preps Oregon, that set Oregon up for a battle against Arizona. And we'll finally get to see how good Oregon is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Understood. Right on. Moving on here, Dream. Huggy Hugs wins by 1 point. Javon Carter looks your age out there. They win by 1 over Kansas State is pesky, man.
Kansas State is a pesky team, but you know what? West Virginia gets it done. It's all about winning. It's whether you win by 1 or whether you win by 30. I mean, obviously, if we're gambling on them, we want them to win by 30. But,
yeah.
But Hugs does go out and gets a win. That's a big win for him. And you know what? They need to win their conference title. There's no reason why they shouldn't now.
Yeah, right on. Right on, exactly. Kentucky over Georgia was given 11 points, and they won by 11, so that was a push if you took the spread. Did you get involved with Kentucky?
All my stuff, all my basketball didn't work. I got involved with everybody, but I had one loser, and in some cases 2 losers mixed in with winners. So none of the basketball worked.
Got it. All right, I'm looking at, let's see. So everybody's telling me that the last conference champion to win the NCAA championship was 2013, and it was Louisville. But you were right about UConn, but that was in their 2011 year, Dream. They lost in the finals in 2014. in their conference title game. So 2013 it goes back to.
In their conference tournament.
What's that?
Duke did not win their conference tournament the year that they won.
Let's take a look. Duke lost in the ACC semifinals that year, 2015. So you stand corrected there, brother. But, I mean, if you look at it here, out of the last 6, only 2 won their championships. So their performances right now, guys, don't really mean a whole hell of a lot to me, to be honest with you. So, anyway, Dream, moving on here. American Athletic Conference, SMU giving 20 points, wins by 4. And they were murdering East Carolina in the first half and completely let their foot off the gas in the second half.
Sure they did. They were up 43-21 at the half. Go in and get outscored. What they 56 points in the second half to East Carolina. And that's an East Carolina team. I got to be honest with you. Offensively, they're not that good of an offensive team.
No, they're 15-18 team on the year, man. I mean, brutal team. Brutal team to watch. And SMU, you know, it just seemed like they were looking ahead to the next round, Dream.
Yeah, that's a bad way to end. It's a bad way to take the foot off the gas. I hope they don't. They're not shell shocked moving forward. I would expect them to come in with a little bit more intensity in this game. Coaching staff can't be happy with the way they finished that.
Definitely not. You got, let's see, Cincinnati over Tulsa yesterday. They actually covered their spread. They were won by 19 points, Dream.
Cincinnati, good win for Cincinnati over Tulsa. This Cincinnati team, they do it defensively. They dominated them in the first half. They actually gave up a little bit in the second half, but they dominated them in the first half. It kind of set the stage. Second half, you know, they kind of went to sleep a little bit on the defensive end. Also, Tulsa picked up their intensity a little bit more, but still, great job by Cincinnati. Jacob Evans averaging 20 points a game, the guard for Cincinnati.
Right on. Notre Dame over Florida State, Dream. I had a feeling Notre Dame had a little run in them. So, you know what? Hey, this team now is 25-8 on the year, and Notre Dame is not a bad look, guys. I'm telling you, for a little future bet, I mean, this is one of my squads I've been talking about. This team, I felt that they were stronger and better than Florida State. And sure enough, they go out and get the job done in that tournament. So now you're going to have a Notre Dame versus Duke matchup. And I think Notre Dame is the better team. I got to be honest with you. So, guys, I think I lost the Dream for 1 second, but it's all good. He will be back momentarily. Going through the rest of it here. Vanderbilt, one of the Dream squads, gets the job done and wins by 10 points over Florida. Great call, Dream, if you're listening. Iowa State Cyclones go nuts and beat TCU. Great job by my man Joseph Del Rosario, who was on Iowa State money line. We talked about Wisconsin defensively. If they could slow down Indiana, they would be definitely able to win this game. They win by 10 points. Northwestern, my squad, one of my squads anyway, gets the job done over Maryland. I told you this team is good. I just locked them in, guys. 400-1 shot to win the NCAA tournament. Northwestern, I am all over. Also, in the Big Ten, you had Minnesota, who was victorious. These are my two, guys. These are my two. So just keep your eyes on them. I'm going to wait till the Dream comes back to have a conversation about his Purdue squad, because obviously you know that he loves them, and I think they're booty. Minnesota over Michigan State in the Big Ten. It's another one of my teams, guys. They're still alive. VCU over George Mason. Villanova, 2-point victory over Seton Hall. Had their hands full, stomach aches for days if you were an underdog double-digit better yesterday. You were 4-2-1 on the day, so that's pretty good. Not bad. Creighton over Xavier, and Arkansas in a 1-point victory over Ole Miss. So a lot of surprises. How did you guys do gambling yesterday? That's how I'd really like to know how everybody did and how everybody rocked, because you know what? It was a great day if you listen to the show as far as a lot of the underdogs come into form. But if you were taking the heavy favorites, you might not have did all that well. So, you know what? Moving on here, I'm waiting for the Dream. I'm just going to get right into what's going on today because we got a lot of great matchups, and we're going to kick it right off at 12 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is change up the music just a touch, and we'll get right into it, guys. So looking at it here, let's pull it up. We are at Saturday, March 11th. And the games actually kick off. I don't know if you realize this, but they start at 11 o'clock with the America East Tournament. Albany, Vermont. Don't know if any of you guys are getting involved in it, but for all you junkies out there, I'm just letting you know that you got about 40 minutes, actually 39 minutes right now to get that play in. 1 o'clock, you're looking at Alabama at Kentucky. Kentucky minus 10.5. You know how I feel about the double-digit underdogs? I've been feeling it lately. Kentucky, they look somewhat impressive yesterday versus Georgia, but I have not really seen much of this Alabama team. I know they're led by Braxton Key as far as their forward is concerned. I believe Kentucky will win this game, but I got to take the points here because that's how I'm doing it right now. 1 o'clock, we have Michigan versus Minnesota. Michigan, guys, minus 3.5 points. I got to be 100% honest with you. Minnesota's a better team. I'm going to ride Minnesota all day long. I'm going to money line them. I'm going to take a plus the points. I think Minnesota wins here. So it's going to probably be a stomach ache, but you know what? I think they're a far superior team. I am going to take Minnesota today. I'm also going to go over to the Ivy League at 1:30. Penn versus Princeton. Princeton 14-0 in Ivy play, minus 7.5, under over of 128. I am going to take Princeton to get the job done. They're going to beat Penn. Penn is a sub-500 team. Guys, they should actually cover that 7.5. So that might be something to take a look at, but I am going to get involved with Princeton today. Moving on here, you've got SMU at 3 o'clock, minus 8.5 versus UCF. SMU is a 28-4 team. Very tough victory yesterday over a East Carolina team that in the second half just went crazy, but SMU should roll here. They should get the job done. They should survive that scare from yesterday. I think they will win. Moving on here, you got Yale versus Harvard, the big rivalry. Harvard is minus 2.5 points. Harvard, I believe, is the better team this year. Will probably win. That's going to set up a Princeton versus Harvard final. But I'm not going to bet the game. You got the Richmond Spiders at 3:30 facing VCU. There is no line yet. That should be a really interesting game, but a very interesting game, even more interesting than that, should be the Big Ten semifinal. Northwestern versus Wisconsin. Wow. Probably one of the best games of the day. I got to be honest with you. I think that game is going to be tight. I would not be surprised if Northwestern was victorious, though. And, maybe I got a little biased because I do have a 400-1 shot for them to win the NCAA tournament. But the line started at 8. It's down to 5 now. So there's obviously some money coming in on Northwestern, and I think that's apropos. I like Northwestern to win this game today. So I'm taking a couple shots with some underdogs here, guys. Money line, you probably like plus 200 on that. You got UConn playing Cincinnati today. I expect Cincinnati to mop the floor with UConn. I thought that Houston, to be honest with you, I thought Houston had a better shot of beating UConn yesterday than most of the games. But sure enough, Houston goes down to UConn. I mean, we did talk about UConn having basically a home court game. It was in Hartford, Connecticut, guys. I mean, it's that's where they play all the time. I don't know how they lucked out with that, but it is what it is. Cincinnati's given 10.5 today. I expect Cincinnati to roll here. But, hey, maybe UConn has that March magic going on. You got Creighton at number 2, Villanova at 5:30. There's no line yet. I'm just going to see if I can find one. Yeah, it's actually minus 8. Villanova's given Creighton 8. I expect Villanova to roll here. Moving on here, we got the final in the Big 12. Iowa State Cyclones, who are 22 wins on the year, facing number 11 West Virginia. West Virginia with Huggy Hugs, 26-7 on the year, 12-6 in Big 12 play. plus 200 originally to win the Big 12 conference, and I feel that this team is going to win it. It might be a stomachache because Iowa State's playing out of their minds right now, but line opened at 7. It's now down to 3. I expect West Virginia to get the job done. I like West Virginia to close it out here. Moving on to the rest of it here, you got Duke versus North Carolina. Looking at the line, give me 1 second. The line started at Duke -4. Now it's Notre Dame -2. Did I say North Carolina? I meant Notre Dame. Oh, man. I think Notre Dame is a better team. I like Notre Dame in this spot, to be honest with you. You got Arizona at Oregon today. Oregon -2.5. I'm going to probably, it's an 11 o'clock matchup, guys. I'm probably, honestly, not going to be watching this one. I might be out. It's a great game, though. I like Arizona as an underdog. I really do. I think they're going to win this game, to be honest with you. And that's pretty much going to do it here. Obviously I lost my co-host, which is no big deal. So this will be a short and sweet show, but I'm looking at it here, guys. And you know what? Those are the squads that I'm going after today. So I am all underdogs, and I am going to ride Minnesota. Princeton's a favorite. I'm taking them. Going down the line here, I'm going to take Northwestern. I am going to take Cincinnati on the money line. I'm going to take West Virginia on the money line. Just going down here, I'm going to take Notre Dame today. I'm going to take Arizona. I'm all over the board today, guys, but that's where I'm at. I am the Mad Hatter, and I absolutely love college basketball. I am all over it. And that's where I'm going. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining the show today, guys. Thank you so much. It's a short show, but you know what? Hey, it is what it is. Sometimes you deal with a couple of different things. But I'm sure you could tell that I'm excited. And I know you guys are excited as well. So we will keep it going and move from there. And looking forward to some big games tomorrow, as these games are going to set up a bunch of conference finals tomorrow, which we'll be back at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, guys. We are the biggest show in the world. We love you to death. The SBTV Nation, stand up, go out there, rise and grind, and get that money. Let's go.